A gust of coal-black wind swept through the corridors of rock history on July 22, 2025, when John Michael Ozzy Osbourne, forever lauded as the Prince of Darkness, breathed his last at age 76. From backbiting shock antics to raw, soul-searing vocals, Ozzy's story defies simple summarization. His journey began in the grimy streets of Aston, Birmingham, and culminated in sold-out stadiums worldwide. Yet, the true measure of his life lies as much in quieter moments, family farewells, battles with addiction and disease, and a late-life quest for spiritual peace, as in the thunderous riffs that made him immortal. Early life, roots in Aston. Born December 3, 1948, to Jack and Lillian Osbourne in an industrial neighborhood, young John Michael learned early that life offered little comfort. 6 children crammed into 2 small bedrooms, Jack labored nights as a toolmaker, while Lillian juggled cleaning jobs and factory shifts. Poverty and physical hardship bred resilience. Yet Ozzy's earliest struggles were academic and social. Undiagnosed dyslexia and attention difficulties led teachers to brand him lazy or disruptive, while bullies made him feel small. Music became his lifeline. The Beatles' harmonies cracked open something inside him, proof that emotion could transcend circumstance. Though he couldn't read music or play an instrument initially, he felt every beat and lyric deeply. His mischievous charm and humor offered a counterpoint to daily drudgery, forging in him an unquenchable drive to find his place in the world. Formation of Black Sabbath, from Earth to Ominous Titans. Foregoing plumbing apprenticeships and slaughterhouse work, and even surviving a brief jail stint, Ozzy drifted until destiny intervened. He joined forces with Tony Iommi, guitar, Geezer Butler, bass, and Bill Ward, drums, initially as the blues rock outfit Earth. Their breakthrough emerged when they dared to lean into the macabre. Inspired by horror films and the dark undercurrents of society, they rebranded as Black Sabbath. Their 1970 self-titled debut shattered conventions with down-tuned riffs, slow, ominous tempos, and lyrics exploring war, addiction, and the occult. Ozzy's eerie, ghost-like wail, far from angelic, became the singular voice of a generation craving something heavier and more honest. Meteoric rise and early turmoil. Black Sabbath exploded with landmark albums, Paranoid, Master of Reality, Volume 4, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, each pushing boundaries of volume, subject matter, and sheer daring. While peers crooned about love and youthful rebellion, Sabbath confronted despair, societal ills, and inner demons. Teenagers reveled, parents recoiled. Ozzy grinned, spun like a man possessed, and channeled raw energy that transcended shock value. But success bore a dark side. Ozzy's drug use spiraled. Alcohol flowed unchecked, cocaine lined every surface, and the boundaries between performance and escape blurred. By 1979, his bandmates, concerned for his health and their collective future, made the painful decision to fire him. Ozzy was devastated and adrift, convinced his career was over. Solo Renaissance, Blizzard of Oz and beyond. Enter Sharon Osbourne, daughter of formidable music manager Don Arden. Sharon saw in a broken Ozzy a spark others missed. She literally picked him off the floor, both emotionally and strategically, orchestrating his comeback. The 1980 solo debut Blizzard of Oz delivered anthems such as Crazy Train and Mr. Crowley, instantly cementing Ozzy's status beyond Sabbath's shadow. His solo persona, leather coats, crosses, and eyeliner, married horror theater flamboyance with genuine musicality. Subsequent albums, Diary of a Madman, No More Tears, Osmosis, sustained his momentum. Ozzfest, launched in 1996, showcased emerging metal acts, further extending his influence. Yet the same appetite that drove his creativity edged him towards self-destruction, perpetuating cycles of addiction and chaos. Personal struggles, addiction, mental health, and redemption. Ozzy's openness about addiction, detailing relapses, rehabilitation, and mental health crises, struck a chord with fans facing similar battles. He confessed he didn't take drugs to be cool but to feel something, or sometimes nothing at all. The infamous bat and dove incidents epitomized both his fearless showmanship and the depths of his compulsions. Behind the stage makeup and manic laughter lay a man haunted by childhood trauma and inner turmoil. His struggle with depression and bipolar tendencies compounded his challenges. In later decades, Ozzy became an advocate for mental health awareness, contributing to addiction recovery centers and speaking candidly about suicidal thoughts. He emerged as a flawed but powerful example of someone fighting through darkness to find light. Family life. Chaos, love, and reconciliation. Ozzy's personal life mirrored his public tumult. His first marriage to Thelma Riley in the early 1970s produced Jessica and Louis, children he largely missed amid his addiction. Guilt drove him to repair those relationships later, forging fragile but meaningful bonds. Sharon and Ozzy wed in 1982, weathering volatile arguments, betrayals, and even physical confrontations. Through it all, Sharon managed his career, rescued him from squalid drug dens, and shielded him from industry predators. Their union yielded 3 children, Amy, Kelly, and Jack, each navigating their own struggles with addiction and identity. Amy sought privacy, Kelly embraced the limelight on the Osbournes, Jack battled multiple sclerosis before becoming a devoted advocate. The Osbournes, 2002 to 2005, humanized Ozzy for mainstream audiences. Slippers, remote control antics, and heartfelt family moments replaced stage theatrics. Though messy and loud, the Osbourne household embodied fierce love. In later years, Ozzy spoke tenderly of Sharon and his children, expressing gratitude for their unwavering support through surgeries, diagnoses, and his final performances. Health decline, Parkinsonism, spinal injuries, and chronic pain. Years of excess exacted a brutal toll. A 2019 backstage fall ruptured spinal discs and damaged nerves, triggering relentless pain managed with nerve blocks and high-dose opiates. His tremors, first evident decades earlier, culminated in a 2020 Parkinson's diagnosis, though insiders note symptoms began as early as 2003. The disease robbed him of vocal power, fine motor control, and mobility, yet he insisted on performing, even from a throne on stage, refusing to let illness dictate his legacy. Final performance, Back to the Beginning. On July 5, 2025, at Birmingham's Villa Park, Ozzy delivered his final bow. Seated upon his custom throne, flanked by original Sabbath bandmates, he battled tremors and breathlessness to resurrect classics like War Pigs and Paranoid. When he closed with "Mama, I'm Coming Home," his voice cracked with emotion, a farewell riff that reduced fans and fellow musicians alike to tears. Many sensed then what the family confirmed weeks later: the Prince of Darkness was staging his own final act. Private farewell, family at the bedside. Following an extended private hospital stay, Ozzy returned home for his last days. Family confidants report an intimate circle, only Sharon and the Osbourne children were allowed in. Soft strains of "Changes" played on loop, while Kelly, Jack, and Amy shared memories, held his hand, and told him they loved him. As his breathing slowed, Ozzy whispered to Sharon, "I'm not afraid anymore," a poignant benediction after a lifetime wrestling with inner demons. Fan reactions and global tributes. News of his passing triggered a tidal wave of grief. In Birmingham, candles flickered by the Black Sabbath bench, pubs hosted impromptu Ozzy nights, murals sprang up overnight. In Los Angeles, the Whiskey A Go Go dimmed its marquee, Tokyo's Shibuya fans lit incense around album art. Online, hashtags like #LongLiveThePrince trended as fans posted cover versions, personal anecdotes, and artwork. Musicians, from Metallica's James Hetfield to Elton John, premiered tributes, calling Ozzy a godfather, brother, and inspiration. Tribute festivals worldwide sold out within hours, vaulting his catalog back to the top of streaming charts. His face adorned t-shirts, tattoos, and virtual reality experiences, underscoring a cultural resonance that transcended generations and genres. Legacy and cultural impact. Ozzy Osbourne's imprint on music is both foundational and far-reaching. As the frontman of Black Sabbath, he helped invent heavy metal's core elements, down-tuned, sludgy guitar riffs, ominous, deliberate tempos, and lyrical themes exploring war, addiction, alienation, and the supernatural. Tony Iommi's slashing, distorted chords and Ozzy's ghostly vibrato became the template for countless subgenres, from thrash and doom to stoner rock and progressive metal, and continue to inform the techniques of modern guitarists and vocalists alike. Tracks such as Paranoid, War Pigs, and Iron Man are studied in music schools, sampled in EDM and hip-hop, and covered by bands across every continent. His solo career extended his cultural reach, blending theatrical spectacle with emotional candor. Grandiose stage sets, complete with leather thrones, pyrotechnics, and dramatic lighting, became an expected hallmark of epic rock shows. Yet amid the darkness, Ozzy's songwriting revealed a storyteller capable of vulnerability, as evidenced by ballads like Mama, I'm Coming Home, and Changes. These songs resonated beyond metal circles, finding airtime on adult contemporary radio and weaving into film soundtracks, video games, and commercials. Outside the realm of audio recordings, Ozzy transformed popular culture. The Osbournes, 2002 to 2005, shattered the mold of reality television by foregrounding celebrity imperfection, snarky family dinners, DIY home disasters, and impromptu therapy sessions. Its runaway success inspired a wave of frank, personality-driven programming, from home makeover series to docusoaps exploring mental health and addiction. Fashion designers, too, appropriated his dark aesthetic. Studded leather jackets, silver crosses, and smudged eyeliner began appearing on high-end runways and streetwear alike, lending rock and roll glamour to urban couture. Academics and activists cite Ozzy's openness about his struggles as pivotal in reframing masculinity and destigmatizing addiction. His public admissions of depression, bipolar disorder, Parkinsonism, and near-fatal overdoses fostered conversations long avoided in mainstream media. Universities incorporate his interviews into curricula on celebrity culture and psychology. Non-profit organizations point to his advocacy and donations when lobbying for increased funding in mental health and substance abuse treatment. Financially, Ozzy exemplified the power of reinvention. His estimated $220 million estate reflects diversified revenue, international tours well into his 70s, evergreen licensing deals for signature tracks in commercials, sports broadcasts, and streaming playlists, property holdings spanning Los Angeles mansions and a Buckinghamshire estate, and the enduring Osbourne's television brand. Despite chronic health setbacks and surgical procedures, he maintained one of the highest-grossing legacies in live rock performance, proof that authenticity, however jagged, retains enduring commercial value. Spiritual reckoning and final acceptance. Though his public persona reveled in darkness, Ozzy's private journey was defined by a search for inner light. Skeptical of organized religion, he nevertheless pursued meditation, energy healing sessions, and whispered dialogues with private chaplains. In interviews, he confessed that mortality terrified him more than fame or infamy. "I've lived through worse than hell," he once said, "but not knowing what comes next is the real nightmare." In his final months, away from blinding stage lights and roaring crowds, he spent hours in stillness, eyes closed, headphones streaming soft hymns or natural sound recordings, hands clutching pet collars or family photographs. Close confidants describe his quiet rituals, lighting candles at dusk, journaling reflections on forgiveness, and embracing each breath as a gift. The night before he died, he turned to his wife, Sharon, and murmured, "I'm not afraid anymore." Those 4 words marked the culmination of a lifetime struggle with self-acceptance and closure, no grand pyrotechnics, just the soft peace he had pursued beyond the spotlight. Conclusion. Ozzy Osbourne's death on July 22, 2025, closes a 6-decade saga of innovation, excess, turmoil, and redemption. He lived as the ultimate paradox. A fearsome showman whose deepest moments were defined by vulnerability, a devout skeptic who nonetheless sought spiritual solace, a pioneer of sonic brutality who paved the way for heartfelt storytelling. His legacy endures in smoky arena acoustics and in the quiet corners of therapy rooms, in the rapt attention of guitar students and in the ongoing discourse on mental health and masculinity. Fans honor him by lighting candles on benches in Birmingham, by posting cover versions on social media, and by sharing personal stories of how his music offered refuge in times of pain. There will never be another Ozzy Osbourne, not because his act was disposable, but because his life represented the rarest form of authenticity, raw, flawed, and resilient. In each tremolo-laden riff, in every confessional lyric, and in the gentle peace he finally achieved, Ozzy's spirit continues to resonate. The Prince of Darkness may have surrendered his throne, but the echoes of his voice still command the night, eternal and unbowed.